What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is the history on the Gem Knight archetype. Now before we get started, you guys are probably wondering, why is it late right now? Truth be told, at the time that I'm recording this, it is Thursday, July 22nd, it is 6:10 p.m. right now. The reason why I'm recording this earlier, the reason why I'm recording this a day early is because tomorrow I'm actually going to be getting my new phone. I'll be showcasing the new phone. I'll be showcasing the new phone on my Instagram. I'm hoping that I can quickly just take a photo of it and post it on Instagram once it's there. So make sure you guys are following me on Instagram. My link is down in the description below. Yeah, I'm actually very excited to get my new phone. My phone has been broken for quite a while now. If you guys, I'll show you guys. It's kind of hard to tell in the there it is right here. You can tell like right here, right there. My phone was like cracked. And yes, that is wallpaper. That is a waifu wallpaper on my phone. But anyway, guys, yeah. So that's why I'm doing this a day early, and then tomorrow morning, or around like 8-ish, I'll be posting it. So yeah. So, but if you guys do enjoy the episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, and you guys want to see more of them, which do get posted every Friday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. We are halfway to 200, where, as I've said before, if you guys didn't watch my 100 sub videos, I did an opening on the Shiny Darkness, which I did not know were first edition. Once we get to 200, I think we're like 98 like 99 subs away from 200. I'll be opening up this sub in its entirety. So if you guys want to see this open, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let's get started with this video, with this episode, which is the Gem Knight archetype. Now, Gem Knights they didn't really do so well as far as the meta goes, but it's an archetype that was released in Duel Terminal, Vylon Descends, and they were used by Julia Crystal in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 anime. What's cool about them is that their team symbol is a jewel droplet adorned with gold trim and two small arced points. Arced points. Sorry. Its color varies according to the monster or object to which it's attached to. Every single Gem Knight are Earth, whereas their types they can vary between Pyro, Thunder, Aqua, Rock, with only one fairy as the exception, keeping with the cardinal elements: Fire, Wind, Water, and Earth. The Gem Knights have further been subdivided into trios, which includes normal, which includes a normal member, a Gemini member, and a fusion member. So normal summon, so normal monsters, Gemini monsters, which are basically effect monsters, and fusions. All the members of the archetype are named after different minerals, which is kind of similar to Jaden, to Jesse and Anderson's, or rather, aesthetically, they appear to be a synthesis, if you will, of Jesse Anderson's Crystal Beast cards and Jaden Yuki's E-Hero cards as well, possibly as a homage to their friendship in the anime, which the evidence in the cards, such as the card Gemini Fusion, where the artwork is clearly emerging of Crystal Release and Miracle Fusion. If you didn't know about it, I'll actually look at that artwork myself. I want to see for myself if basically it's basically a mix. If you guys had not seen the card, that's what it literally looks like, which is beautiful. The artwork is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, what's interesting, if this can go through, thank you. Now, what's interesting about this is that the 4 Gemini normal monsters are shown to be unarmed, and the 10 fusions wield weapons befitting their stats and effects or lack thereof. Gemini Aquamarine uses a bladed shield. Gemini Ruby uses a polearm. Gemini Topaz uses a twin-bladed tonfa, and Gemini Amethyst carries a shield and what is either a wand or a slim blade. Which looking at the card, I'm going to confirm it myself. I'm gonna say it is a really thin blade. I'm confirming it right now. I believe it's a really thin ass sword, basically. Gemini Citrine uses a fire sword. Gemini Prismara wields a lance and a shield. Gemini Zirconia, on the other hand, is equipped with gigantic fists, seemingly to compensate for its lack of effect. Gemini Seraphina uses a lance. Gemini Master Diamond uses a broad sword embedded with gems. And Gemini Lady Lapis Lazuli, which can deal effect damage, is depicted without any weapon at all, which is kind of sus if you ask me. It's kind of sus if you ask me. Gemini Lady Brilliant Diamond uses a simple sword. The Gemini archetype is the first and, as far as we know, the only archetype to boast 6 different polymerization style cards, which are Gemini Fusion, Particle Fusion, Proxene Fusion, Fragment Fusion, Absorb Fusion, and Brilliant Fusion. Regardless, Geminites are capable, Geminites are indeed capable of just spamming the board with a bunch of fusions, and it grants the player, the person who plays Geminites, to repeatedly return the Geminites to the owner's hands at the cost of just banishing a Gemini monster, and with the assistance of Gemini Obsidian and Gemini Lazuli, the user is also allowed to recycle the normal monsters as well. And as a result, the player can fusion summon multiple times from their extra deck during the exact same turn. So this archetype is an archetype that can just spam the board with a bunch of fusions, jump the monsters back to the hand, jump the spells back to the hand, and then refusion cards from the extra deck all over again. Which that's pretty broke. That's pretty insane. It's pretty insane. Now the story behind this actually dates back to the days of some of the different archetypes that I have yet to talk about in this series. One of them being Lovels, which did I do Lovels? I think I did Lovels. I'll have to take a look at my list, because I think I did do Lovels. No, I did not. That'll be next week's episode, actually. That's kind of interesting. But the story behind this is that a group of warriors, endowed with the powers of minerals, which obviously are the Geminites, value honor above all else and disapprove of battle for the sake of battle. With Lovels, however, with the provocation of the Lovel army, the Geminites were forced to take up arms and protect the clans from their own destruction. The Steelswarms began to invade the Surface Land, intending to take over everything. the Gem Knights had joined up with the other clans in a temporary alliance, if you will, spearheaded by which were commanded by the Vylons, and along the way they sort of gained new power, if you will. They gained new power, which would help them, resist the Steelswarm army. But the Steelswarms had quickly dispatched, and yet the conflict was far from done. The Vylons had decided to exterminate the clans in order to prevent future wars. But the clans had banded together once again in order to halt the Vylons. But it was a collab between the Gem Knights and the Gishkis, to whom credit for their eventual victory goes. Gem Knight Pearl became the downfall of the Vylons. After the Vylons were driven back, had retreated, the alliances between the clans once again dissolved. The Gishkis resumed their invasion of the Mist Valleys, which had been their main objective pre-Steelswarm, of course. But in order to obtain the resources from the Mist Valleys, the Gishkis had to enact a genocide. I know I shouldn't say an all-out assault, if you will, on the Gustos, and thus the Gem Knights had intervened to rescue the remaining Gusto armies. When the Elswarm virus began to spread across the entire Duel Terminal world, the Gem Knights had joined the Gustos in a prayer for the Constellars, which were a legendary band of divine warriors, to aid them. The Constellars may not have been strong enough to resist the Elswarm army alone, but as the Gishki clan had fell victim to that virus, if you will. Knowing this, the Gem Knights fused into the most powerful Gem Knight, which I believe they ended up appearing to be Karen Gorgon, Anti-Luminescent Knight. Appeared to have been a corrupted combination, probably made by the Elswarm virus. Nobody knows. Of Gem Knight Crystal with parts with Gem Knight Zirconia, both a right arm and a left leg. Gem Knight Master Diamond, and Gem Knight Prismara as well. So what's interesting is that this has a lot to do with the Gishkis invading the Mist Valleys, and also trying to get the Castells to stop the Elswarm virus, which was pretty vicious, to say the very least. There were so many diamonds, so many gems, minerals, if you will. You have Alexandrite, you've got Amber, Amethyst, Aquamarine, Citrine, Crystal, Emerald, Garnet, Iolite, Lullite, I believe it's pronounced. Lady Brilliant Diamond. You have Diamond, Lapis Lazuli. You have Diamond, Obsidian, Pearl, Phantom Quartz, Prism, Ruby, Sapphire, Sardonyx, Seraphinite, Topaz, Tourmaline, and Zirconia. The playing style of this archetype was kind of an interesting one, because the style, it was there. The term is called Rapid Fusion Beatdown. What that means is it's similar to the elemental hero monsters, where you can just not only spam the board with a bunch of fusions, but you're also able to recycle the monsters that were used to fusion summon, recycle them back either back into the deck or recycle them back into the hand, and you can use those cards to fusion summon all over again. And what's interesting is that the Gemini normal monsters have benefited from most normal monster support cards, as well as cards like Gemini Merchant, whose effect resembles that of Kalut the Moonshadow. Where with Kalut, if you're not familiar with that, it's basically a hand trap where you discard it to the graveyard, target a Blackwing monster your opponent you control. During the damage step only, that Blackwing gains 1400 attack. Gemini Merchant is basically the same thing, but it works with the Gemini archetype alone. Gemini Alexandrite and Armadillo would provide a good amount of search power to facilitate the strategy of bringing out your fusions. The archetype's key card is obviously Gemini Fusion, which, apart from granting access to its vast arsenal of powerful fusions, this card can just recycle itself back to the hand at the cost of 1 Gemini banished from the graveyard. However, discard effects can also come in quite handy with cards such as Phoenix Wing Windblast, which is a crazy piece of removal back in the day, which can also load up the graveyard which can also load up the banish zone for cards like DDR with different dimension chaos, different dimension reincarnation, and also Chaos Zone, which those cards can resummon the Geminites that were banished via Gemini Fusion, and essentially rendering the cost moot and restocking the hand with materials for more fusion summons, which again this is kind of similar to the Elemental Hero strategy and the Crystal Beast strategy, where you're able to just recycle your cards back into your hand, which could really help you do a lot of damage. But because that you can fusion summon Geminis using other Gemini fusion monsters, a Gemini deck can use the effects of Amethyst and Aquamarine to remove a bunch of back row, and to remove trap cards and return monsters back into the opponent's hands, making your board safe enough for cards like Gemini Prismora and Citrine and even Ruby to go ahead and activate their effects and be able to just pop and be able to just go full combo. However, pairing Master Diamond with a field spell like Catapult Zone can also be a really good tech, because with the effects of Master Diamond, it gains 100 attack for every Gemini in the graveyard, in which Master Diamond can have up to like 5,000 attack, which can really do a lot, which can do a lot of damage, and especially with Catapult Zone, woo, that is some broken spicy bullshit. And it's also prevented from getting destroyed by battle once per turn. So kind of similar to the effects of cards like Dark Resonator, where it can't be destroyed in battle once, basically. So with Master Diamond, you would have to attack it twice in order to destroy it and send it straight to the graveyard. And with this, you're also able to send one rock from the deck to the graveyard instead. So that's what the effects of Catapult Zone comes into play, because you can just Foolish Burial one of your Geminites, or you can also send cards like Doki Doki to the graveyard as well, which could really help the deck out a lot. And by feeding in cards such as Lazuli, its attack will steadily rise to over 3,000, which could cause it to become which could help it become less vulnerable, and it can come in handy when you're dealing with cards like like the Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, which is a pretty broken card to say the very least. With the release of both Exceed Monsters and Rescue Rabbit, these types of cards gave Gem Knights an even bigger boost, if you will, because with Rescue Rabbit, you can bring out the materials you need to summon any Gemini Fusion or even Exceed Summon Gemini Pearl, which does not have a single effect. I don't know why, but it is what it is. And also with the effect of Gemini Amber, it can return a banished Rescue Rabbit from the banished pile straight to the hand, so you can further use Rabbit for even more fusion summoning. And with the release of Brilliant Fusion, Geminis had gained more power to go into cards like Gemini Seraphonite to obtain an extra normal summon, kind of similar to Blackwing, Nathunda Starlight, which you're able to gain a second normal summon in addition to your original, which is really cool. But it's also extremely powerful in a dedicated Gemini deck. So it's pretty cool to use Brilliant Fusion to go into Gemini Seraphonite. And with the release of the Link monsters, Gemini's had suffered drastically, but once we got Gemini Phantom Quartz, there was a FTK that was discovered using Lady Lapis Lazuli to repeatedly burn the opponent with Gemini Master Diamond to reuse its effect, and Phantom Quartz to recycle monsters while summoning more fusion monsters right off the bat. This led to Master Diamond being limited for a pretty good while, but the deck had since once more faded from the competitive meta, barring Brilliant Fusion, which continued to be a staple for main decks until it too got limited due to the abuse in Thunder Dragon format. Yes, Thunder Dragons became stupid broken with the effect with Brilliant Fusion. And even though today the FTKs are still playable, it's not too much of a threat when it comes to today's meta. However, the Geminis have become even more harder to play after last year's 2020 ban list. So Brilliant Fusion ended up getting banned. So if you guys don't know, as far as the weakness of the deck, there are so many ways. There are so many cards that can weaken the a Gemini deck to the point of no return. You can use the cards like the Evil Heroes, which could with Evil Heroes, they rely on Dark Fusion and Dark Calling, which which is similar to Geminis who depend on Gemini Fusion to summon, to go for their fusions, and even Proxine Fusion are also included. Some of the cards that they can use to stop your opponent from playing Geminis would be Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell, which you can use it on Gemini Fusion, Proxine Fusion, Brilliant Fusion, literally all the fusions, done. They're done. And what's even more interesting, if you run 3 copies of this and let's say 3 copies of Jar of Avarice, you can use the effect of Jar of Avarice to return your 3 copies of your Cursed Seals back into your deck, draw them out, play them face down, flip them up, and target the fusions again. Done. It's done. It is done. You can also use Armageddon Designator as well, which is kind of an interesting card, But if you guys don't know what Armageddon Designator does, it says banish one card from your hand. Neither player can activate cards or the effects of cards with that name for the rest of the duel. This was actually a card released in, if I remember correctly, it was released several years ago. I thought so, yeah. So it was released in Judgment of the Light, and it was released in the 2014 Megaton. So the only printings of their kind, basically. But as far as some of the other cards that they can use, you can also use Secret Village of the Spellcasters, which could cripple the summons of the deck itself, unless if you were running something like unless if you had a spellcaster that can stop Secret Village, you're pretty much just done. So you would need to have a side deck that could counter Secret Village in order to go into your plays. Eradicator Epidemic Virus would be another good one. Anti-Spell Fragrance, Non-Fusion Area, Noturia Beast, Noturia Exterio, and even also Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8 as well, which could be a huge threat to the deck itself. Some of the other cards that can really help against Gem Knights would be Archlord Chrysia, Vanity's Ruler, cards like Gemini Spark can be used to handle the Gemini monsters of the Gem Knights, Macrocosmos, Dimensional Fissure, which I think Fissure's banned, if I remember correctly. Dimensional Fissure is banned. Most Gemini decks that utilize either Gemini Alexandrite or Rescue Rabbit are also can also be affected by the effects of cards like Mirror of Vows, Skill Drain. Absolutely insane. Cards that, but as far as the back row cards go, Twin Twister, Royal Decree, any of the Solemns, Mask of Restrict, hand traps. You can use Ghost Reaper, Ghost Sister. You can use Debunk. Mind Drain is a broken one because all you do is just pay 1,000 life points, and all monster effects that activate from the hand are completely negated. But what's funny is that with decks like Dark World, they don't have effects that activate in the hand. They have effects that activate in the graveyard. So Mind Drain would play a great factor in Dark Worlds if you weren't playing hand traps, which is what I do. Which I will showcase the deck once I get all the cards I need. But there's a few that are pretty expensive, guys. Trust me. And then of course also Call by the Grave can banish Rescue Rabbit, whatnot. But the funny thing is that they could just easily be recycled back into the graveyard. So, but yeah. So did this archetype ever become meta? Yes, it did, because they had cards like Brilliant Fusion, Gemini Pearl, Master Diamond, and just and several other cards. There were several decks back in the day that had took part in YCS events. I know that it took part in a couple of regionals. I don't know if they took part in Worlds. I don't think so, because Geminis were more of a rogue deck, like a tier 2, tier 3 deck. But once you would make it up to regionals and nationals and worlds, you were basically playing like tier 1, tier 0 decks that would completely destroy the meta. So Geminis were pretty decent. I'm not so sure if they would be meta again, but with Brilliant Fusion banned, I highly doubt it. But I think, do I believe that this archetype should get new support? It's hard to say, because it's hard. It's hard to say because when you think about the Gem Knights, they were released. They were first seen in, as I said earlier in this video, they were seen in Duel Terminal Violent Descents, but they were also seen in sets like Hidden Arsenal 5, Hidden Arsenal 6 and 7, Secrets of Eternity, Clash of Rebellion, the Battle Packs, the Star Packs, Photon Shockwave, Astral Pack 8, Wing Raiders, OTS 6, Extreme Force, Shadows in Valhalla, just to name a few. So, do I believe they deserve new support? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I'm not so sure if they deserve the new support, but if they do get support, I would say give them a synchro. I feel like because that we have a Link monster in Phantom Quartz and a Xyz in Pearl, I feel like with a tuner and a synchro, maybe things will light up for the archetype. But guys, that is going to do it for this episode. Question of the day: what are your guys' thoughts on the Gemini archetype, and do you see this archetype getting any new support? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which gets posted every Friday. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description. If you guys have fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.